Welcome back to the Leadership Forum, a space where corporate leaders share insightful takes on the human side of ingenuity. I'm Saquib Vali, explorer. Say hi to the future. The leader with us today is Teresa Palandra, President, Mercer Canada. Teresa's path to leadership has included a diverse consulting background, helping clients align their business and workforce strategies to boost engagement and improve HR functions efficiency. As president of Mercer Canada, Teresa leads a team of over 1,000 professionals, helping Canadians achieve healthier, more financially secure, and professionally rewarding futures. As part of this role, Teresa is a member of Mercer's Global Operating Committee, advancing Mercer's global strategy and priorities across all regions and practices. Welcome, Teresa, and thank you for taking time out from your well-calculated schedule.
Thank you, Saquib. Great to be here and to chat with you and our listeners. So first, I have to say that I giggled a bit on the inside with your reference to my well-calculated schedule. You don't know how true that is. I'm very organized and I like to plan things out. And if that weren't enough, I'm also an actuary. So I've worked in consulting for my entire career, over 25 years. As an actuary and retirement consultant, my work with clients has been primarily focused on helping employers and boards provide their employees with more financially secure futures in retirement. And I've been fortunate to be part of Mercer for the past 18 years, where I've had incredible opportunities to work with clients and take on leadership roles and grow my career. And currently, I have the privilege of being the president of Mercer Canada, leading a fantastic team of roughly 1,000 professionals across the country. So let me share a little bit about Mercer. So we're a global leader in helping clients realize their investment objectives, enhance health and retirement outcomes, and also to shape the future of work. We're part of a Fortune 200 company that is Marsh McLennan. And interestingly, Mercer has very proud Canadian origins. We were founded out of Vancouver almost 80 years ago, and we now stand as a large global firm with more than 20,000 colleagues operating in roughly 130 countries around the world. And at Mercer, our team understands that the key to being able to provide customized solutions is being able to anticipate the needs of our clients in response to evolving market conditions and opportunities. And so there is no one-size-fits-all solution in our line of work. Every problem is unique, and that's why we take a very tailored approach. So, for example, we know that traditional benefits alone aren't enough. We understand that the financial needs of Canadians vary at different stages of life. And we also recognize that the future of work is becoming more complex, more ambiguous, and our clients need flexibility and agility. And it's with that frame of mind that we provide customized advice and solutions to help our clients make a positive impact in the lives of their employees.
And just the history and where Mercer's come, that's impressive, Teresa. And the work that you do is critical. Teresa, one of the human conditions that we at Say Hi to the Future explore is resilience. So tell us about the role resilience plays when it comes to the future of work and redesigning work structures.
It's a great question, Saquib. According to Mercer's 2024 Global Talent Trends Report, which surveyed over 12,000 C-suite executives, HR leaders, employees, and investors, it's clear that the C-suite is preparing for risk. So nearly 2/3 of the respondents predict a stormy or turbulent outlook. And that includes economic, geopolitical, societal factors over the next 10 years. And as organizations brace for uncertainty, it's interesting to see their top strategies for weathering a potential economic downturn. Roughly 40% plan to double down on AI investment. 40% are going to invest in reskilling, and 39% are going to focus on digital transformation. And if you take a moment to consider what each of these are, they're all rooted in the need for agility and the ability to pivot to respond to market conditions, which we should see as a positive, as this will serve to strengthen these organizations. And what's even more encouraging is that only 1 in 5 said that they would reduce their workforce in response to a potential economic downturn, signaling a very positive trend towards resilience and a focus on building from within. So to navigate the future of work successfully, organizations are going to need to prioritize 4 key areas. First, the risk landscape is changing in unexpected ways, and organizations need to boost their corporate immune system, if you will. And that involves building a risk-aware culture and moving from reactive resilience to anticipatory resilience. And it can mean proactively planning for disruptive events and forming multidisciplinary teams to plan for different scenarios. And by empowering these teams to act on risks and consider diverse perspectives, organizations can better identify and mitigate the potential issues. Second, anchoring to trust and equity is vital for employee well-being. The influence of Gen X and Gen Y is really coming through here. Topics that have been important to these populations over the last few years are now trending upwards for everyone. So things like working for an organization with a purpose they can be proud of, creating a sense of belonging, and feeling valued for contributions that are being made. And those are the things that round up the top 3 answers of what employees are looking for. And then third, organizational agility. Individual and enterprise resilience, and also long-term people sustainability are all part of a very ambitious agenda. And it's possible if organizations cultivate a digital-first culture. Now, that means promoting a human-machine teaming. So humans and machines working together, harnessing data, encouraging innovation and ingenuity, and making decisions that benefit both the organization and its people. It also requires reimagining the HR function. Example, more tech-enabled or automated experiences, more use of Gen AI to really unlock workforce capacity and maximize the potential of humans and technology. Also, it's going to be important to keep in mind that a human-centric approach to digital transformation measures success in human terms, not technological ones. So, for example, looking at productivity improvements versus how well integrated the systems might be within the broader technology ecosystem. And then that brings me to my last point, which is around driving productivity. That's essential, and productivity by its nature is human-centric. So considering things like work design, skills taxonomies, skills audits, those are all going to be really critical. And by keeping people at the heart of the productivity equation, organizations can ensure that the benefits are shared by all.
That is so well articulated, Teresa. And I've been having these conversations with a few different guests, and yours is a really positive one and hopeful one, and for sure something that people need to listen and learn and adapt. Also, the whole conversation that this whole advancement needs to be human centric.
Right.
You're talking straight out of our playbook right now. So I'm so glad that we got a chance to have you come on and give our listeners this current take. I'd also love to get your leadership take within Mercer itself on Ingenuity, and more importantly, the human side of Ingenuity as it relates to you, your organization's success. What's your take? When has it worked well? When has it not? What have you learned?
Yeah, so another really great question. I believe that a lot of the really transformational or game-changing ideas come from, a sense of purpose, right? Sense of wanting to accomplish something like really different, really unique, really special. And it's not just about coming up with a solution or an idea, but it's about our beliefs, relationships, and lived experiences that drive that creative process and shape some of the most groundbreaking ideas. And so when you think of today's age of AI, we have access to incredible technology that can do amazing things with just the click of a button. However, you have to recognize the limitations of AI. AI lacks inherent ethical frameworks and moral reasoning, right? It makes decisions based on learned patterns, which can unintentionally perpetuate biases that exist in the training data. Creativity, on the other hand, thrives on the unpredictable, the new, and the genuine qualities that AI can't replicate because it is trained on the existing. And that's why in this era, it's becoming increasingly important for us to embrace our distinctly human strengths. So organizations can support these strengths if they create a culture of creativity and open-mindedness and continuous learning. It's about allowing diverse individuals to bring their whole selves to the workplace, encouraging people to think outside the box, challenge the norm, and come up with innovative solutions. And organizations then can drive further innovation and creativity. So, for example, at Mercer, we're driven by our purpose of building a more sustainable, a more equitable, inclusive, and thriving society. And that purpose has allowed us to accelerate our focus on solutions that advance pay equity, promote greater transparency in policies, provide more inclusive benefits, encourage financial independence, and narrow the retirement savings gap. These solutions have grown considerably because they resonate not only with our clients, but also within our teams and their belief systems. It's about aligning our purpose with our actions and creating a meaningful impact. And sometimes Ingenuity faces roadblocks because of structures, hierarchies, or a fear of failure. And when people feel discouraged from taking risks or sharing their ideas, it kills creativity and limits the potential for innovation. Lack of resources, time constraints, or resistance can also hold back innovative ideas. So at Mercer, we strive to be an organization that encourages a test and learn approach. We prioritize learning and development opportunities. We embrace an apprenticeship model, and we strive for continuous learning amongst all of our colleagues. And by creating an environment that allows people to bring their whole selves, their emotions, their opinions, their experiences, we value and foster that creative process. And we value and foster experimentation and learning from experiences, the positive and the not so positive.
And what I loved about how you went about thinking this through for your organization is it's about values, beliefs, and lived and shared experiences, which is also human centric, right? I think this is enlightening, it's inspirational, and honestly, I think our listeners will benefit a ton from it. Let's stick on this particular area because it seems, you've got over 1,000 professionals, you said.
Yeah.
Well, what do you look for, groom for, and nurture so you can get the next Teresa coming up?
Hopefully there's a lot better than that, and I know that there is. So when it comes to leadership, there's certainly no one size fits all approach. I mean, every leader brings their own unique style and perspective to the table, and it's important to recognize and appreciate this diversity. So having leaders with different experiences and opinions is not only beneficial for the organization, but also for the individuals within it, as it creates a culture of inclusivity and innovation. But what do I look for? What are the key attributes? I want leaders who are humble. It is so critical, I believe, to have humility in leadership because this speaks to the ability of a leader to recognize their limitations, acknowledge their mistakes, and be open to feedback. A humble leader is not afraid to admit when they do not know something, and they're willing to learn from others. And they're also able to put the needs of the team, the organization, and the success of a task above their own ego. I also highly value a solutions-oriented mindset. Many can identify problems, but few can also devise and implement effective solutions. And a solutions-oriented mindset also means that we don't spend time focusing on the problem or casting blame. It's all about learning, looking ahead, and charting a path towards a better outcome, right? These individuals are open to others' ideas, they're proactive, they're resourceful, and they have a natural inclination to tackle challenges head on. They possess the ability to think critically, to analyze situations from multiple angles, and come up with innovative approaches to problem solving. And by having leaders who are solutions oriented, organizations can navigate through obstacles more effectively and drive positive change. And I'll say, as I've grown in my career, my appreciation for people who listen more than they speak only intensifies. No one ever learned anything from hearing themselves speak. So take a break. Make sure you're really soliciting and listening to input from others. You will learn something, guaranteed. And maybe lastly, strong emotional intelligence is crucial for effective leadership. Leaders who have the ability to understand and manage their own emotions, as well as empathize with and relate to the emotions of others, are able to build trust, resolve conflicts, and effectively communicate with their team members. These individuals possess self-awareness and are able to recognize their own strengths and weaknesses, and they use this knowledge to build diverse and high-performing teams. And by creating that culture of emotional intelligence, leaders create an environment where individuals feel valued, supported, and motivated to contribute their best work.
Amen. You're preaching to the choir, and specifically on listening. That's, by the way, that's advice that I could take myself many, many times. I catch myself in so many ways, and I know that people whom we all surround, they're very smart, amazing individuals. I think all of us need to um, take note of that for sure, for sure. Teresa, any advice for other leaders? Your colleagues within the industry, or your clients, or whoever that you come across.
Yeah, no, happy to share some thoughts. So first, we're all on a continuous journey of learning and development, as we should be, right? Throughout my own journey, I've received valuable advice that's resonated deeply with me. I've also experienced many things that have kind of shaped my views, but maybe one piece of advice that really stuck with me is the importance of being authentic and allowing yourself to be honest, vulnerable, and authenticity takes bravery, right, in every setting, including the workplace. But when you express it respectfully and appropriately, it can be a catalyst for a more successful career and company. Core values matter in life and in leadership. They're your friend. They act as guardrails that help keep you and your organization from making bad decisions. And having well-defined core values and remaining true to them helps you set clear priorities and make better decisions, even in ambiguous situations. And so I often describe it as taking the harder but better path in decisions and in life. And the easy solution isn't always the best one. And in fact, many times it is not the
It
best
is
one.
not. That's correct.
And so being authentic also means embracing your own strengths and weaknesses and recognizing that you don't have to have all the answers, and be open to learning from others, right? Surround yourself with diverse perspectives and encourage collaboration. Yes, this fosters innovation, but it also creates that sense of belonging and inclusivity, which is so critical for the success of a team. And then I'd say maybe another piece of advice would be around effective communication. It's so crucial in leadership. It's important to be transparent, to listen, to provide feedback to your team, and to create an environment where everyone feels comfortable to share their thoughts, their ideas, encourage the open dialogue and constructive discussions. And this can lead to better problem solving and decision making as well. And maybe the last piece of advice that I think we could all benefit from a reminder on is to take care of yourself, right? We
That's
know
right.
you can't pour from an empty cup. Leadership can be demanding and perhaps even a bit lonely at times. And so it's important to prioritize self-care and well-being, right? Find ways to recharge, maintain a healthy work-life balance. We are leaders, yes, but we're still human beings. And sometimes we need to pause, take a break, and even seek support. And so it's important we do that when we need to and lead by example, right? Because others are watching, right? And we want to promote a culture of well-being within our organizations.
You cannot pour from an empty cup. Listening. I think there are so many amazing nuggets in this entire conversation. I'm so glad I'm starting my day by having this conversation with you. Teresa, what I do want to do at this stage is, we came into this conversation, and obviously there was a guide, there was a structure in how I was asking these questions. But I want to give you the last word. Is there anything that you wanted to share with our listeners that, just because of the way I've asked the questions, I may not have got to, but you wanted to share?
I think you asked everything that I wanted to cover. I mean, I think we've covered, in my view, the most important points around authentic leadership, inclusive leadership. And that to me is where you get the best out of your teams and you're going to get the best outcomes. Like if you put any kind of restrictions on people's ability to really bring their authentic selves and their lived experiences to the table, you're not getting the best of what that person has to offer. And so I hope I was able to convey that in my responses, because that's something that I truly believe in. I've witnessed this in action, and I cannot stress that point enough.
I think authenticity is a great place to round out this conversation. Thank you so much, Teresa. This was such a
Thank you.
fantastic conversation. Loved it. We are going to tag you because I'm sure our listeners want to hear more from you. So we'll tag you and Mercer Canada in our show notes. But thanks again for taking the time.
Thank you so much, Saquib. Appreciate this.